Bears are effing killing machines. That's the takeaway from this movie, and I felt prepared for it because every 10 minutes I had the voice of Dwight Schrute in the back of my head reminding me of vital bear survival tips.
Black bears run away from you, brown bears run at you.
Climbing the tree? Bears can run faster. Trying to run away? Wrong type of bear. Now, Cocaine Bear is the first directorial effort of Elizabeth Banks since the cultural phenomenon that was Charlie's Angels. But seriously, Cocaine Bear looked like it was fit to be a great time. It pairs a cast of like really weighty talent with a ridiculous premise, which I'm sure you're all aware of by now. A bear does a bunch of blow. Hijinks ensues.
The bear, it fucking did cocaine.
Except I wish it was as simple as hijinks. It's more than hijinks. It's The Edge meets Terrifier 1 and 2. I almost feel bad for telling you how gory this movie is because it almost feels like a spoiler. Like one of the early scenes shows a bear mauling a hiker behind a bush so you don't see anything, and that's usually a tactic that studios use to preserve PG-13 ratings so it can appeal to a wider audience. Then there was the slow plot development for 20 minutes, and at that point I thought, well, this movie isn't going to earn its R rating now, is it? Hoo-hoo boy. Boy, howdy. In a twist worthy of M. Night Shyamalan himself, the movie lowers your expectations in the beginning before saying, just kidding, about a third of the way through and jacking the body horror meter up to 11.
What a twist!
The primary focus of the creative team here was obviously to just come up with as many creative ways for a bear to maim a human, and then make sure that modern special effects showed that in as detailed a manner as possible. The use of close-ups and long interrupted shots to show the savagery teeters between the comedic and the horrific. Like seriously, the camera not pulling away during some of these scenes got a slow clap from me, because that's the type of bravery that even horror movies often don't have the cojones to follow through on nowadays. The difference between hilarity and outright horror for this movie was often the difference between a silly or serious soundtrack. Now, the movie is a dark comedy for sure, but really only because of the gore. It's super light on plot and character development, and if you remove every instance of bear maiming human, the rest of the movie would feel like a pretty watered down attempt at comedy. It follows a few groups of people who intersect on a Tennessee mountain trail where millions of dollars worth of cocaine was dumped. Kerry Russell is a mother searching for her truant daughter. Margot Martindale is a gun-toting ranger protecting said trail. O'Shea Jackson and Ray Liotta are the dealers responsible for finding their missing product, and Isaiah Whitlock is the detective hell-bent on tracking them down. Now, all of those characters have little pieces of the type of offbeat that are usually found in really brutal and unique comedies, like the ones that come from the likes of the Coen brothers who did Fargo.
You should see the other guy.
Or Martin McDonagh, who did Seven Psychopaths and The Banshees of Inisherin.
Bonnie's not part of the gang, that's not fair. You gonna cry?
But the characters and the style fall way short of those gold standards. Now, on the one hand, it's a missed opportunity because a bit more craft on that end could have made this movie an absolute banger. It could have gone the route of other successful genre-bending black comedies, like The Coked Out Bear could have been the Buddy Aces of a Smokin' Aces type of Assassin's Ball, or the survival element could have brought to the surface how comically evil and self-centered people are when they're put in dire situations, like in Peter Berg's Very Bad Things. But the edginess of the bear mauling never really bleeds over into the theme or the characters. The tone of the movie actually seems to aim for a Farrelly Brothers kind of outrageous, gross out vibe, and it feels very much like a cheap, unfunny copy. But come to think of it, if the Farrelly brothers themselves took a crack at the script, I'm sure the result would have been a Tiger King level phenomenon, especially given the drought of agendaless and creatively unique cinema that we've been suffering from lately. Now, on the other hand, I kind of appreciate the flimsiness of those parts of the movie, because it's the type of vanilla storytelling that puts the focus on the main selling point. Like when I go into a slasher movie, I'm well aware that the relationship problems between the cheerleader and her boyfriend in the opening scene are not to be taken seriously. These dynamics have to exist so that they feel like people instead of cardboard cutouts that are getting slashed at. But if the filmmakers attempt to pursue any more depth with those parts of the movie, it risks compromising the film being what it is, which is a genre piece. On Halloween night, no one wants to see Steel Magnolias play out in between killings. As with horror movies, mindless action flicks, even Hallmark Christmas movies, and really any other genre that benefits from putting all of its eggs in one basket, the story can be dull, and the characters can be kind of unimportant. They really just exist to keep your eyes trained on the screen so you don't miss the next jump scare or car explosion. In that way, the movie might be better for it. Cocaine Bear absolutely soars when it's true to what it is. There were moments that were very close to feeling like a true roller coaster experience, as played out as that description is for going to the movies. There was a steady calm followed by carnage, humor that left you feeling a little awkward and guilty, much more tension than I would have anticipated, and then more carnage. Suspense stood very close to hilarity here in a way that I can't really remember feeling in any other movie. In fact, the blending of these elements is so pronounced that it almost feels like we're watching the creation of a new genre. I mean, even The Evil Dead didn't do as good of a job of pairing really funny and absurd scenes with scenes that were really, really tense and horrific. I mean, it really is on another level when it comes to that. So I won't nitpick by saying that I wish the plot was better or that they did something more with Ray Liotta, Isaiah Whitlock, and Kerry Russell. I won't dwell on the fact that any humor that didn't involve bear maiming human fell pretty flat. The parts that were good were great, and there was enough of it in the movie that I can recommend this to anybody who's looking for a quick bit of escapist cinema. I commend the movie for being brave and really committing to what it was and trying something new. That's rare nowadays, and I keep my fingers crossed that we see more of that in the future. I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and if you have a soft spot in your heart for gratuitous violence, for dark comedy, for laughing at things that other people in the room might think you're a little crazy for, I strongly recommend you check out Cocaine Bear. And let me know what you guys think. What'd you think of the trailer? Do you plan on seeing it? If you did see it, what was your favorite mauling? What was the grossest part that stands out, that gave you weird dreams that night when you went to bed? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Till next time, this is Bromley. I'll see you.